Nearly everyone who starts an online business fails and goes back to their day job. How is it possible that only a fraction of businesses survive, and what are they doing differently? It's been 4 years since I've had a day job. I've done over 7 figures in my online coaching businesses, merely just selling the thoughts in my brain. I want to show you how to survive in a landscape where most people fail. I'll share tricks to avoid mistakes almost everybody makes so that you can live a lifestyle that most people will never get a chance to. The first really important thing that you got to have is almost like this positive, delusional way of thinking. And I know this sounds insane, but so does starting a business and doing things outside of the norm. You almost have to have this unrealistic certainty that you're going to succeed, even though you have no results to back it up. There's no proof that you've ever built a business, that this plan is going to work, but you still have to have this insane way of thinking, just being like, this is going to absolutely work, even though you have no results to back it up. The second thing is like you're going to keep working. You're going to wake up early. You're going to have to work more than you normally do. You're not going to get paid for it. You're not going to see any fruits from your labor, but you have to keep doing it. And it's hard when you need immediate gratification, meaning that you put in a certain amount of effort and you see something in return. That's not going to happen for a while, especially when you're in the beginning phases of business. If anything, you're losing money most of the time. I think there's a statistic that says that most businesses don't start profiting until about their third year. That means that's 3 years of you putting in effort, not making money with a job and having something stable, but still showing up and doing it anyways. So with most online businesses, it's a little bit different because there's not as much overhead. There's not as much things that you don't have to rent a building, but still, there's going to be a long time where you don't see any return from what you do. You also have to have this unrealistic expectation of you're going to succeed, even when you start doubting yourself and you're going to start thinking, am I even good compared to the people that I'm up against? And the truth is you're probably not, because they've been doing it for years and you're just getting started. But this is how you really fix this. The first thing you got to do is you just have to ignore results for a while. That's the biggest thing you can do, is just expect that you're going to go in, you're going to put in this work, but you're not going to see anything in return. Think of it as like school. School is a place where you go to get debt, not get paid for being there, but you spend all your time studying because it's going to pay off one day. You have to have this constant way of thinking that things aren't going to pay off until further down the line. The more short-term the thinking is, meaning that you need to see something right away, the easier it is going to be able to fail and the more likely you're going to quit. So keep that long-term thinking and just ignore any results. Just pretend like you're going to be not getting anything for a while. You want to be urgent about the input, but patient on the outcome. You want to be showing up every single day and just lighting that fire under yourself to really show up and keep putting in work. 1 minute a day, 2 minutes a day, 3 minutes a day, 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, and you keep showing up and you're urgent and really pushing towards putting in the effort. But you have to be patient on what actually comes out the other side. Another really hard part about the build-up phase in business is the transition period. I call this the butt crack season. Nobody wants to get stuck in a crack. That's not a good place to be. What I mean is you're transitioning from doing one thing for a living to another. So you're jumping from cheek to cheek and you're in the butt crack season. You're going from a full-time, stable day job to not knowing when your next paycheck is going to come. And you have to put in almost the same amount of effort into both. You can't work less hours because you got to pay your bills. You have to feed your family. You can't not put time into your business if you want it to grow. So this is why it's hard, is because there's the season where you're juggling two things. This isn't forever. Just know that when you transition, you let go of that job, you're going to free up so much time, but you're never going to make it to the other cheek unless you actually sit in the crack and do the work of both sides of having a job and building the business during that butt crack season. So it's job plus business survival. And a lot of people underestimate what it truly takes. A lot of times we fail because of our expectations, unrealistic expectations. Again, there's positive ways and negative ways of having unrealistic expectations. Having unrealistic expectations that you're going to succeed is going to push you and motivate you mentally to keep moving further. But thinking that something is going to come easier than it truly is going to set you back so far. What you should do is we always prioritize what's most important to us. People will claim that having a business, having their time freedom, quitting their job is important to them. But the things that we say don't matter unless our actions align with it. So how bad do you actually want it? Because if you wanted it bad enough, you would find the time or remove all the things that aren't as important to be able to make sure you put effort into building your business. When I got started with my business, I was working a full-time job. I would work 10 hours a day, and I had to be at work at 6 a.m. Most people would say, well, I don't really have any time because I have to wake up so early and go to work. That is what people say when they don't want it that bad. The only thing in my mind was, cool, instead of waking up at 5 a.m., I guess I'm getting up at 3 a.m. to work on my business for a couple hours before I go to work. At my job, fortunately enough, we didn't have breaks and lunches. We just combined it into one big break. So I had an hour and 10 minutes. During that time, I would drive home on my lunch, not eat, so that I could film content and again, do more things to work on the business during that time. I'd come home after work and I'd put in a couple more hours. So I found time because I wanted it that bad that I would prioritize it. And a lot of people use their family as an excuse. I have kids that I need to take care of. I'm not saying don't take care of your kids, but you can either use your kids as an excuse to not do it, or you can use them as a motivator to why you should do it. Just know that this is seasonal and it's not forever. You're not gonna work 16 hours for the rest of your life. But if you want to be able to get to that place where you're working 10 hours a week, you got to front load that time where you're working a full-time job and you're still working on your business. If you can't eliminate things in your life to make that time, I'm sorry, but you probably don't want it bad enough. Your environment can be a really difficult landscape to maneuver because everyone around you is going to think you're an absolute psychopath. They're going to wonder why you would leave a stable job that pays your bills to go do something you're unsure if it works. Which is why 96% of people are still working a stable job. Most people can't stomach that fact. And it's not for everybody. But if you can be that psychopath that hears that from everyone around them and still does it anyways, you know you're going to succeed. Multiple times I worked with people in the medical industry, so they were like, trust me, I'm older than you. It's not a good idea. What's even more important is listening to the people who have the life that you want to live and not listen to the people who live the lives that you don't. Now, I get that they're older than me. The only thing I took away from them saying that is that you have more years of experience on planet Earth than me, but you're still living the life that I don't want to live. That's just an indicator to me that that's more reason to not listen to those people. Don't let the people around you be the reason why you don't try to strive for the life that you want. So it's hard because you have to put on your blinders and block out all the noise. And in the new world you're stepping into, you're going to look around it and you're going to see that your competition is experienced. They all have clients already, they have success already, and you are entering this world as a nobody. You're going to start to doubt yourself and wonder if you can pull it off because they've taken up the market share or whatever the excuses that you say in your head. But trust me, the world is so big and so abundant. There's so much money and opportunity out there that even your biggest competitor could not help every single person on earth, even if they wanted to. I taught music production for the longest time. Timbaland is a record producer that's done so many hit songs. He charges like $99 a month to learn how to make music from him. I charged $8,000 and I still got clients. So here's a couple things to note. The people that you're seeing on the top, they all started in the same place that you are today. Everyone started from ground zero at one point or another, and they had to build themselves up. So they went through the same thing you're about to go through, just at a different period in time. There was people they looked up to then also. Their competition was better than they were at that time too. But they had to push through. And like I said, even though Timbaland has all these accolades, these records, there were still people that are willing to pay me because trust trumps the best. There are people on planet Earth that are going to relate to you more than they're going to relate to me, more than they're going to relate to the best person in your industry. And what your client truly cares about is whether they can trust somebody and can that person get them a transformation that they want for their own lives. They're worried about their own lives. They're not worried about what you have going on. No matter if you have all the Grammys, all the best accolades, all the PhDs, everything in the world, that still does not give them a transformation. That only tells them, well, they're probably good at what they do, but that still doesn't prove that you can help them. If you can prove you can help somebody transform better than the next person, they're going to pay you every single time. That means you just have to work on getting better at persuading them that you're the one that can help them. As an example, Timbaland could be the best, but even if somebody paid Timbaland to learn from him, Timbaland can't just show up, sit in the room, and be like, I'm the best. He still has to deliver a result. Starting out, you're also lacking a bunch of skills that are necessary for you to be successful. It's almost like jumping off a cliff, and then you're building the bridge as you fall. You're starting to stack more and more skill sets as you go along. You don't start with all these skills. You have to go out in the battlefield with the lack of skills and learn as you go along. It's not just learning more skills, but it's unlearning years of brainwash that has been instilled into you. The things you learn in school kind of keep you from starting a business. Trade your time for money. Get a good job. Listen to your boss. The part that takes longer isn't just learning the skill, because when you have a blank slate and you don't know anything, it's easy to just believe everything that you're being told. Whereas if you have to unlearn what you know for years and try to replace it with a new concept, that is difficult. So the first thing I want to mention is that skill is a lot different than character, and that's what you want to work on first. You first have to be the type of person that believes that the skill set is valuable that you're about to learn, and that it's possible for you to learn. Would you show up to basketball practice every single day if you knew that you were never going to get good at it? No. Why would you ever do something that you believe that you're never going to get good at? So no matter how woo-woo and mindset-y it sounds, it's true. You have to believe before you take the action, otherwise you won't get the outcome you want. The skills that you should be learning first is the ones that are closest to putting money in your bank account. So think about it. To get money in your bank account, what do you have to do? Have a sales process. To have a sales process, you need to be able to get leads, which is marketing. In order to promote anything, you need a thing. So reverse engineer it. Sales is probably the most important skill to learn first. Every business owner needs this skill set, and you're going to use it forever. You're going to use it to raise your kid. You have to sell them on brushing their teeth. You're going to use it when you negotiate with business partners. You're going to need it to persuade clients to sign up with you. You're always going to need it. That's the best skill to learn first. And I say learn the skill that closest to putting money in the bank account, is because if you didn't have anything else, you're still starting with the most crucial skill that gets you to having capital. And once you obtain money and capital, that can feed a lot of other areas in your business, like learning more marketing, hiring somebody to create a better offer for you. So it's a domino effect once you get the money. So you might as well focus on the thing that's closest to getting you the money. To unlearn years of brainwash, what you should do is start reverse engineering every belief that you have, no matter how true you believe it is. Toothbrushes clean your teeth good. Building this habit of reverse engineering every belief, and if it all logically makes sense, that might be a good belief to have. There's so many beliefs though that I've reverse engineered, and I'm like, why do I believe this? Is it logical, or is it because someone told me that at one point in the years of my life and it's just always stuck with me? Those are the beliefs that you want to question. Why is the only way to make money trading your time? Is there other ways to do it? You're seeing other people do it. So clearly that's not a logical belief. That's the first one you got to let go of. You also have no time or money, which makes it really hard to start a business. You almost have to invest money that you don't even have. And you're supposed to make time that you don't have. The first thing I would start with is finding the time. I gave you an example earlier of how I would wake up earlier. There's always time in your day for the things that you really prioritize. So start with finding more time before you use your money in business, especially when you're starting out. You may not have the capital capability to spend so much money and test to see what works and what doesn't. The best thing is find time to put effort towards it, because this is how you also start stacking your skill sets. You start learning about different areas of sales, marketing, what works, what doesn't. If you paid somebody to do those things for you right off the bat and you never learn that skill set, it's only going to hinder you further along in your business. Imagine if you hire a marketing agency and they're not bringing you any leads, but you don't know how to fix it. I believe that any part of your business that is connected to making money should be learned by the CEO. That way they know how to train and adjust any problem. So find the time, learn the skills first so that you make the money, then you can take that money and invest it. Another really important thing is invest in skills before you invest in assets. As an example, the S&P 500 gets you like a 7% return every year. Whereas if you invest in learning how to do sales, how to do marketing, you could get a 6,000%. So if you invest in the skill sets, you'll have them forever first. That way you can never go broke again. Because if you learn the skill set of having a stranger give you their credit card, how could you ever go broke again? Plus, you get a greater return. Once you have all the fundamental business skills, that's where I would start investing in assets. But first, invest in yourself always, in your knowledge. That's the best way to be bulletproof to poverty. As a bonus, another big thing that hurts a lot of businesses is their pricing. They're usually charging not enough because they just look at the marketplace and they see what everyone else is charging. So they're like, well, if I want to be competitive, I'm going to charge a little bit less than them until I get more business. I promise you, if you just charge more in the first place, your business is going to move a lot faster. And if you want to learn more about that, click on this video right here. If you want my help to help you grow your coaching or mentorship business and you want guidance throughout this whole thing so that you can actually survive this, I'll leave a link in the description for you to book a call. Don't forget to subscribe and share this with somebody, and I'll see you in the next video.